Hey everyone, it's Joy here for Honeybee Stamps, and today I created a card using some Olo markers, a gel plate, and some ink. So let's start by using our Olo markers to color our beautiful images from the Paradise Plumerias stamp set. And I have stamped on some Neenah Solar White cardstock with Honeybee Stamps Intense Black ink. I do have the lids placed here where you can see what colors I'm using, but for the leaves I'm going to be using BG 2.7, 2.4, and 2.3. Then I decided to have some pink flowers and some corally, kind of a coral orange color. So for the pink, I'm going to be doing RV 0.4, 0.2, and 0.1. And then for that kind of coral orange color, I will be using R 0.6, 0.5, 0.4, and 0.3. I'm just going to color like I usually do. If you guys watch me color, I like to start with my darker color where I want the shadow to be. Then I will come in with a medium color and blend over that dark color and then kind of come out past the dark color. And then I will do the same thing with the lightest color. So there's the darker orange. Here's that medium orange. I'm just lightly blending over and then extending out. And then here is my light color orange that I'm going to fill in the rest. And then usually I tend to come back in and at the very least come back in with my darkest color and blend. For this orange, I actually used 4 colors because there was kind of 4 in the color family. And so I used the R.6 for the centers. So here I'm starting with R.5, then 0.4, then 0.3, and then I will come in with the 0.6 and just add some of that really dark area. I'm going to go back in with the RV 0.4 because it's kind of dried to add a little bit darker, and then I'm going to color the leaves here. All the leaves are the same color. I'm not going to show on that big flower coloring those leaves, but I will show coloring more of those flowers. I decided to do pink and orange in this little flower arrangement. I didn't want it to be just one color, so I'm going to do both in here. Again, coloring it exactly the same, but I did leave the coloring in because I know sometimes people like to watch that. So let me come in with this pink here. Again, starting with that RV 0.4, which is the darkest, then going to the 0.2, which would be like the middle, and then 0.1, which is the lightest. Let's do another pink flower down here. I'm actually going to do 2 more pinks. These bottom flowers are both going to be pink, but I just think this is fun, bright, like tropical colors. And that's really the feeling I wanted to go with for this card, is just kind of this more tropical. Then, like I mentioned, on the background, we're going to use a gel plate, some Distress Oxide Inks, and a, oh my gosh, my brain totally stopped working. Oh, a small brayer. My gosh, I'm so sorry. First, let's use the coordinating dies to die cut out our images. I'm going to tape that in place with some low tack tape. And on this bigger die, I do like to tape it in 2 places because it still can easily shift. I colored this sleeve and die cut it, but I ended up not using it. So I just used the 3 images here with all of the flowers. As you saw from the photos, there is a big sentiment, and I am using the Tailgate alphabet dies to create the Aloha sentiment. I am die cutting this from black cardstock. I'm going to die cut it 3 times because I'm going to glue those together, which is going to give us a nice, substantial, dimensional, kind of chipboard-like sentiment. So I'm going to die cut out each one of these letters, and we are going to spell the word aloha. And I love that black against all the color that we're going to create here. So this is where I am adhering my letters together, stacking them on top, adding liquid glue between each of the 3 layers. If you really wanted this to be really substantial, you could go with 4 or 5 layers. And I used really thick black cardstock. Okay, this background I did not keep, but I decided to keep it in. So I have my gel plate. I am inking up with Distress Oxide Inks, and you could see that I just kind of tapped it everywhere. And I'm taking my small brayer and just lightly rolling over the top just to kind of even it out. And then I'm spritzing it with Picket Fence Distressed Spray Stain, which gave it these nice dots. I think it's a pretty background, but I was not in love with it, but I wanted to show you anyways. So this is the background I'm going to keep. So I am using Squeezed Lemonade, Picked Raspberry, and Salvaged Patina. I am taking the corner of the ink pad and just lightly dragging it down on this gel plate here. And I'm trying not to really blend. I don't mind a little bit of blending of the colors, but I'm trying to kind of keep each color in its own lane. But I do want multiple colors, and I want it to go across the background. Then I'm going to take that small brayer, and it's going to be clean, and I am going to barely, lightly roll over each section. I'm going to clean it off between each section. What this does is softens the ink and kind of rolls it together so you don't have these big open spots, and it's not blotchy, if that makes sense. So it kind of just smushes it together. But I mean, my hand is, I'm not even putting pressure with the brayer on that gel plate. Then I'm going to spritz it again, and I am looking for the big drops because that's what's going to make the difference on the background. That's really what you're going to see. You're not going to see those little small ones. I'm going to use the brayer to press it down onto my gel plate. I want to get nice, good coverage, and then we can peel it back, and I love this background. I think it turned out good. And you can see those big splotches from the Picket Fence Distress Spray. So that's the one I chose to go with. The first option was also nice, but the second one was my favorite. I am stamping the sentiment from Rest and Relaxation stamp set. It says, relax and enjoy your, and then the word day. I am going to use the coordinating dies for these, just like I used for the images. I'm going to tape those in place, run that through my die cut machine, and then we will have our little die cut sentiments. I want to make sure I'm not going to eyeball my big sentiment right now. So I've got this little L-shaped ruler. I'm lining the left side of the cardstock up to the right side of the ruler and then just sliding it over, and it's going to be nice and straight. Then I can adhere my letters down and just touching the top of the ruler there, and then I know they're nice and straight. I am eyeballing the spaces in between the letters. I'm just kind of looking at the bottom of each letter and looking at the space there. So that's why I'm lining up this sentiment that says aloha. And I really love using alphabet dies to create big sentiments. I just think it's so much fun, and it really is kind of an eye catcher. Let's add some foam adhesive behind our other two sentiments here. I love the font of these. I just think it's so pretty. Again, this is from the Rest and Relaxation stamp set. I'm going to line them up under the aloha sentiment. Let me get the word day right over here. So it says aloha, relax and enjoy your day. And I just think it's so fun. What do you guys think of this background? I really love it. I just think it's so super pretty. But wait till we put the flowers over it. It just is a fun, colorful background. So this is how I want to lay out my flowers, but of course I want them popped up. So I'm going to add some foam adhesive behind that. Some of this is going to hang off the edge, which I like, and I can just trim off the excess. Then we have our other two flowers here that we are also going to pop up with foam adhesive, and then I can just kind of tuck them around the sentiment. And then we have this really fun layout here. So let me trim the excess off. And then I want to finish with white pops of color and turquoise waters pops of color. So the white's going to go in the centers of the flowers, and then I'm going to use the turquoise waters pop of color just to add some a little something extra. Some of these scattering of dots around on the background cardstock. But it gives a little something extra. It just feels a bit more tropical, and it's a nice way to finish off the card. This will be adhered to a white A2 size card base, but let's take a look at this up close. Those plumerias are beautiful. I think that background turned out so much, like, it's just so much fun. and I just love the whole design of this card. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you enjoyed this project, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.